It was one thing after another. First, some jerk in the coffee shop decided to bump into you on purpose and spill the hot coffee down the front of you. Then you got to work only to find your boss gave the biggest costume project to the new kid. Not to mention, your mother decided it was a good time to keep asking you about your non-existent love life and is overly persistent on getting you to go on a date with a friend's grandkid. You were exhausted, easily chalking up today to be one of the worst you've had in a while, and you needed the fresh air just to calm down before going home. A walk through the park near your apartment usually did the trick. The sweet smell of the blooming trees, the cooling mist that the wind picked up from the little pond, the sounds of ducks swimming, birds singing, and men yelling after something. Wait, men yelling after something? Suddenly, a rambunctious-looking bulldog came barreling towards you, leash flying behind them. Before you could think about it, the dog ran into your shins forcefully, knocking you slightly off balance. They ran around your legs in a figure eight, wrapping the leash around you, and completely knocked you to the ground. Without missing a beat, they climbed on top of you, drowning your face in wet, slobbery kisses. Your squeals for help were mixed with your laughter. Your hands were torn between pushing them off or scratching their sides lovingly. The dog paused and turned their head quickly towards the voice, now towering over you.
Hey, leave them alone. You know it's not nice to knock new friends down,
he reprimanded, pulling the dog off of your chest, his face coming into view. You could feel your eyes widening a bit as your face grew hot. Judging by his expression, he must have had the same reaction before turning his face away to help untie the leash from around your ankles.
I'm sorry about that. Sometimes they see new people and get too excited to make a friend. They pulled away from me when they saw you down the path here. Guess they decided you needed some affection.
His eyes glanced up at your body, pausing on the coffee stain on your shirt, and offered a sympathetic smile.
And, I'm guessing they're right.
Well, yeah, I guess they were. No harm done. I had a rough day, and honestly, being coated in dog slobber was the highlight of it. You took the outstretched hand he offered to help you up.
Wow. Must have really been a bad day if it was your highlight,
he joked, pulling you to your feet before offering a pack of tissues from his pocket. He must have to deal with the dog's drool a lot. It was definitely something. But, you started, bending down to scratch behind the dog's ears, and cooed. Thanks for making it better. He watched you kiss the dog's nose, the smile on your face growing brighter and brighter each time. It was a sight he liked seeing, and decided to take the leap.
I'm Sekijirou,
he smiled, all nervousness diminishing as the two of you locked eyes.
How about the 3 of us go grab an early dinner? As sort of an apology for knocking you down.
You know what? That sounds great, you beamed. Was the feeling in your stomach one of hunger or infatuation? You couldn't wait to find out by the end of the night. As you were about to suggest a place, you noticed a blush across his skin as he scratched the back of his neck like he was torn between saying something or not. You tilted your head, prompting him to go on.
I promise my kisses have a lot less drool.
Something about that day felt off. He couldn't tell if something good was going to happen or if something was going to go horribly wrong. Knowing him, it could go either way. Fortunately, luck seemed to be on his side as he spotted a small kitten meowing, sadly as it hid behind some garbage cans. Crouched down low, he held his hand out and waited until they were comfortable with his presence enough to bump against his hand to relay trust in him. After a few minutes of petting them with a content smile, he held them close to his chest, and let out a small laugh when they crawled into his scarf and laid against his cheek. He decided he would take them home for the time being. Or rather, he thought to just take them home. A few yards away, he could see the soft shine of sunlight bouncing off a golden bell that dangled off of a dark-colored collar.
"That's yours, isn't it?"
he muttered.
"Guess you really aren't a stray."
After picking up the collar, he inspected it, but sighed when he didn't find a name tag. Instead of heading home for a nap, now he had to walk around the neighborhood to see if he could find an owner without a cat. You've torn up your own apartment 17 times, looking in every nook and cranny within the walls for your newest little addition. They were playful, but an absolute troublemaker. You couldn't stand the thought of losing the kitten, and found yourself tearing up more times than you could count. Now, after circling the neighborhood quite a few times, you decided to put up flyers and hope that someone had found your fur baby. Out of the corner of his eye, he noticed a sullen person hanging up a flyer with a sigh. Moving forward to look over their shoulder, he noticed the photo on the paper was one of the little friend he had asleep in his scarf.
"Excuse me."
He caught your attention, catching you off guard as he watched you wipe away a few tears.
"That cat, it's yours, isn't it?"
"Yeah. They got out when I was bringing in groceries. Have you seen them by any chance?" The look on your face seemed distressed. You were very obviously upset over your loss. What kind of hero would he be if he didn't help improve your mood? He pulled down his scarf a bit, revealing the sleeping kitten wrapped around his neck as it purred softly. Your eyes lit up instantly, a giant smile gracing your features. It wasn't a bad sight to see if he was honest with himself. He carefully handed the kitten over, smiling to himself as the person in front of him, you, cooed softly, placing a few kisses atop the kitten's head. Something about you seemed nice. You were gentle, obviously very loving, and hey, you loved your cat.
"Ah."
He realized he still held the collar in his hand. You watched as he carefully put it on the kitten, jingling the bell once before scratching underneath their chin. He could feel your gaze on him that accompanied a comfortable smile. "You even found their collar! Thank you so much! Oh!" You twisted a bit, reaching for your pocket. "I offered a reward for them. Let me go get it for you." You were cut off by the proximity of his open hand to your face, effectively quieting you.
"I don't need that."
But, you sputtered, twisting your smile to a nervous one. "I have to pay you back somehow. I've been looking for them non-stop."
"If you really need to pay me back, then..."
He was surprised by his own thoughts, realizing that he normally wouldn't be so bold. But something about you drew him in. Maybe it was your cat.
"Invite me over for some coffee, and let me play with them sometime."